More than 3.4 million acres of California's agricultural land has now been urbanized, according to American Farmland Trust. I'm Juliette Lamar, and as your community reporter in Santa Barbara, I spoke with local farmers who are concerned about rezoning land in our county.
This is our crop for 2025, already starting to show up on the trees. I'm in my 60s and I'm a United States farmer.
Rick Shade of Shade Farm is a sixth-generation Carpinteria avocado grower who's worried about the future of farmland in Santa Barbara County.
The farm population is getting gray.
With 95% of California's farms being family-owned, according to USDA Ag Census data, aging out is a threat, along with development.
The concentration tipping point, I'm worried about happening here, whereas if too much development happens, it will just cascade down and everybody will be gone.
Development is consuming an average of 40,000 acres of ag land per year in California, according to the California Department of Agriculture and the American Farmland Trust. This year, the State Department of Housing and Development mandated Santa Barbara County identify over 5,000 potential areas for new housing units.
We looked at current pending projects in the pipeline and identified a shortfall. And together the shortfall, roughly 2,000 units.
Is that a lot or a little in your experience?
That's a lot.
The Board of Supervisors voted to rezone 25 sites in Santa Barbara County to accommodate for housing needs.
That's where rezoning comes into play.
Tuttle tells me 2 sites in Carpinteria and 3 in Santa Barbara were rezoned from agriculture to housing, totaling 273 acres.
If there was not a willing property owner, rezoning the site would essentially be useless.
The state housing element update is one of the mandated components of a general state plan to expand housing in California.
We don't want to lose that, though. We don't want to lose the ability to produce our food.
This is the 6th housing element cycle covering 2023 to 2031. In Santa Barbara, Juliette Lamar, KSBY News.
The end of the farmland, the silent threat to farmland in Miami-Dade. In the heart of Miami-Dade, and replicated throughout the United States, a process as silent as it is irreversible is taking place. The gradual disappearance of farmland as a result of decisions made at the local level. Far from being an anecdotal issue, this phenomenon represents a direct threat to food security, the rural economy, and the identity of communities. Rezoning. A little visible process, big consequences. In recent years, changes have been implemented in the zoning of agricultural lands to allow for new residential or commercial development. These transformations are often supported by arguments of progress, economic expansion, or housing needs, but they ignore an inescapable reality. Every hectare lost to agriculture is one less opportunity to produce fresh food, generate rural employment, and preserve local biodiversity. Public participation in these processes is, in practice, limited. Although formal consultation mechanisms exist, the experience of the agricultural community indicates that their voices are rarely central to decision-making. Farmers see how, little by little, urban progress advances on their fields, often without a transparent discussion about the social, economic, and environmental costs of this loss. Economic, environmental, and cultural impact. The displacement of agriculture is not just a problem for producers, it affects society as a whole. The reduction in local production makes food more expensive, increasing dependence on imported products. Rural jobs are lost, weakening traditions and trades that have defined Miami-Dade's character for generations. Ecosystems are altered, and vulnerability to climate events increases, as agricultural lands act as natural barriers and environmental reservoirs. Miami-Dade is not an isolated case. The same trend is observed in many regions of the country where local policies prioritize urbanization over the protection of productive lands. While modernization is part of development, it cannot be done at the expense of sustainability or the common heritage. A national trend, a local call. The case of Miami-Dade exemplifies a national pattern. When public policies prioritize real estate expansion without considering a real balance with agricultural interests, the very foundation of food security and territorial resilience is eroded. In this article, we seek to draw attention to the urgency of reviewing decision-making processes and encouraging more active and informed citizen participation. The future of the countryside, and of every family's table, depends on it. A decision for everyone. Protecting agricultural lands is a shared responsibility. Only through transparency, public debate, and responsible planning can we ensure that development does not mean the disappearance of the countryside. The well-being of Miami-Dade, and the entire nation, demands structural solutions and decisions that guarantee a real balance between progress and preservation. The opinion expressed in this article reflects a legitimate concern for the public interest. Open debate, and even if the opinions of those who live and work the land are not valued as they should be, we must continue to raise our voices to defend the right to the land and the fresh air that emanates from it.